Welcome to Calvin, the Digital Creative School. Oh yeah, I think my my mic was muted the whole time. Very nice, very good. Alright, I was basically just saying that Zach was working on this animation for the last like 3 weeks, and now he's ready to move into Resolve. So I'm gonna show you, Zach, if you're watching this later, the passes that are useful for compositing this in Resolve. Alright, so let's go into the render output first. And you're using Eevee, which is interesting because I've actually never used Eevee with compositing. So that's going to be interesting to figure out. Yo, Wrench, welcome back again. Okay, so for export, let's, render is good. Let's just call this, let's just do a few test renders. Test 1. Yeah, okay. And we want to use the multi-layer EXR. Float half is fine. DWAA is very good. It's small, but still full quality. I'm going to disable override. I'm going to get some placeholders too. And also preview. If you enable preview, you get a JPEG sequence too. So you can watch it back in real time. Because EXR, you can't really watch it in real time. It's too big, too intense. Okay. Alright, so we got the export settings set up. Now let's go to the passes. Because we can use all kinds of passes to enhance the composition or the compositing later in Resolve, in Fusion. What we definitely what I usually like to have is, I mean, it really depends on what you want to do later, but I think since this is a long render, and it's going to take a few minutes to complete, I think we should just use the most useful ones. So for example, mist. Mist you get in the world settings, here in the mist pass. And usually I want to set it up pretty high to start from 0 and then end at, I don't know, let's do 500 meters. And then to also fall off, I want to make it linear, so it's easier to use. Then also let's use normal and position. Position will basically give us the ability to position masks, like 3D masks in our render, and like edit certain parts of the image in the easy way. Okay. For light, I usually don't activate so much, except for emission I like to use, so we can make only the emissive things glow a bit more. That's I think that's everything I would personally activate, because the thing is also, the more passes you activate, the more data you need to save it, and also the slower the workflow is. Like if you have this in Fusion and you have all these passes enabled, Fusion needs to load like huge amounts of data with every frame into the program, which will slow you down a lot. So yeah, make sure that you only enable the passes that you really need. Filter, that's all good. Shadow, yeah, that's... Environment is basically the HDRI, like the outside here, which usually is fine without it. Yeah, it will basically just give you the HDRI with the camera move. Yeah, that's what that is for, but yeah, I never really used it. Because you can still basically get only the HDRI by using the mist, right? So to cut out everything except for what's like very far away, which usually is just the sky. Okay, yeah, so let's just render a frame here and see the different passes we get. Let's see if they are useful. I guess I'll just use this frame here. Okay, nice. We can actually check all the render passes directly in here by going up to the right, top right, and we get combined, which is the finished render. Then we got mist for the depth. We got normal for the normal information. It looks pretty noisy. I guess because he's like transparent, that's probably why. Let's see, position. Okay. Emission. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, honestly, I think it should be fine. Like something that I set up in my own startup file is like an object ID pass. So you can separate individual objects. And I think while we're at it, I'm going to show you how to do that from scratch. Like usually, that's why I also recommend you use my startup file, because then it's already part of the render setup. But to set it up manually, you would create a linked copy here. Not a layer. Wait, was it layer? Oh yeah, render layer. I would just completely new. Yes. And call this object ID. And then for the object ID, I want to use like a world that's just one color. So basically, I'm going to create a new world, call this object ID, and I'm going to just give it one color, like blue, for example. Like with RGB, just have blue at 1 to represent the sky. And then I also need a shader that gives me all the colors possible. So let's just create a shader on this plane here. Create a new shader. I'm also going to call this object ID. This is all like very kind of like not necessary stuff, but I think having an object ID pass gives you a lot of possibilities later on to save things if you need to save things. Right, I'm just gonna put in a ramp, color ramp, and also object information. I'm gonna put the object information random into the color ramp, which will basically give you a random point between 0 and 1 on this color ramp for each object that the material has, or each object with that material. Range set, can we render only mist pass instead of combined? Yeah, I think the easiest way to do that would be to, in compositor, like use the compositor, and then just put the mist pass into the image. And then if you choose anything else, but OpenEXR will always save all your layers, right? But so if you have this setup and you use PNG, for example, then you will only have the mist pass being rendered. Okay, so let's go back here. I'm gonna use the nodes. Okay, this is all correct. Okay, let's go back to the object ID material shader editor. Actually, let me already enable it. So in the world settings, was it in the scene settings? In the scene, View layer. Oh yeah, view layer settings. What was it? Wait. Where was it? Or was it only like a cycles setting? Scene, because I basically want to overwrite. Wait, I could have sworn it's somewhere in here. This is... Okay, wait, let's enable cycles real quick to see if it shows up then. Alright. Oh shit, it's the cycles feature. Eevee. Yeah, Eevee doesn't have the override. Okay. Ah, okay. That's too bad. So we can't simply override, because what I wanted to do was to override the material to the object ID and the world also to the object ID. And then basically everything would get that material. But yeah, I guess it's only a cycles feature. So if you don't render with cycles, you don't have that. Okay. I'm going to finish showing you how it works though, if you use cycles, because I think it's interesting. Some interesting information in there. Okay, so I got these things here of samples. I'm also just going to put to 10. So basically, the object ID pass, these are called pass, right? Or layers. Yeah, the object ID layer is just used for giving each object its own color, and then rendering that out as an image. So I'm going to do that again. Okay, so I want to have how was it exactly? Let me just do full red, and then full blue, and then here in linear, was it linear? There was like a way to have it roam around, kind of like give you the whole spectrum. HSL, oh I think it was this, far. Yeah, there we go. So if I do this red, does it give us all the colors? Yeah, okay, so if we start on red and end on red, and with HSV we select far, it will basically get the farthest path between those two colors, which is all colors basically. So yeah, now we got this material set up. I'm also gonna like protect it so it can't get deleted. I should also do that for the object ID world. Yeah, okay. Just select it here again. Let's select our real one. I think it was this one. Yeah, cool. Okay. Now in our view layer, everything basically stayed the same. So if I render now with cycles one frame, it should be all normal. Let's see if it will actually also render the object ID pass. Yeah, these are way too many samples. We don't need so many. Let's actually do by... We only need like 500. It's already pretty clear at 500 samples. Finished. And now it's rendering the object ID pass. Yeah, and here you can see the result of that. So if we go from, what was it? Oh yeah, object ID. This is our object ID pass now. It basically gave us, yeah, each object has a random color between of any color, all the colors. And this is our view layer here. And if we save this as OpenEXR multilayer, it will give us all this data, basically all the all the layers, right, with all the passes. So all of this stuff, everything that's kind of like everything that you can basically select here, multilayer OpenEXR will save for you. So yeah, that's how you get the object ID pass. But with Zach, since he wants to render in Eevee, I think we should do that. And if we need the object ID pass, we can still render it out separately later. Yeah, so we're all good. Kiana says, hey Calvin, would love to see your workflow from Blender to Resolve. Yeah, that's like a little bit, I'm showing you guys like a tiny bit of that workflow right now with like the passes and OpenEXR and stuff like that. So yeah, stay tuned to learn some stuff about that today. Okay, so I think we got all that with the OpenEXR. Actually, I'm interested if we render now in Eevee, what it will do with our object ID layer, if it will still render it or if it's just gonna skip it. Okay, view layer, object ID. Okay, object ID is basically the same, so we should not render it. It's just gonna take up space that's unnecessary. Okay, so object ID, can we disable it? Use for rendering. If we disable that, go back to the view layer and render now. Does it only render the view layer? Let's see. View layer. Yeah, now it's only the view layer. Okay, cool. So that's good. Now we can export this. Normal, mist, combined. Yeah, I think that's all we need. Yeah. Yep, okay. That should be all. Alright, so let's just start rendering it. I think it should be pretty fast with my PC. So I'm just going to start rendering a few frames and then we're going to start compositing in Resolve. I think all these settings should be fine. Let me just save this as Calvin v3 and render that. Can ask, does adding render passes affect render times? In my experience, like if you enable any of these, it doesn't change the render time inside of Blender, because I think Blender calculates all of these anyways to be able to produce the final image. But it's gonna change, like it's gonna be an effect in your compositing, because the more render layers you use, the bigger your file size is, and the longer your PC has to load those files for it to display them. Yeah, so you still want to just select the ones that you really need in compositing. Got a few random layers here. I think I'm actually gonna, yeah, because we got a few frames from this shot here, I think I'm just gonna skip to the second shot and render a few frames there too. Yeah, maybe actually this part here, from here on out, I want to render a few frames. Resolve already? Oh, I already have it open. Okay. Oh wait, is there no motion blur? Oh, motion blur is disabled. Oh, Zach, I think you should definitely enable motion blur. Let's render that again with motion blur enabled. Let's remove the ones here. So these are without motion blur. Remove all of these. So now render it again with motion blur. Should look much better. There we go. And it says, okay, also, is there a compositing program that predominantly uses GPU instead of CPU apart from Blender? I mean, HitFilm used to be that program, but HitFilm isn't really available anymore. So, I'm not sure, man. Maybe Autograph also uses a lot of GPU, but I'm not super sure about it. Yeah, I still want to have that like transition to the other rooftop in this shot here because I think it's pretty cool. Stop rendering. Ah, here we go. Okay. Suddenly became much slower. Okay, I think that's enough. Enough waiting. Undo that so we have the full playback length again. Okay, let's quickly look at the render here. I'm using DGV to play back image sequences. Here we go. Okay, yeah, that looks good. We can also play back the EXR directly. Should be also working pretty well. Let's see. Yeah, it also works. The cool thing with DGV players, you can also look at the layers directly in here with Control L. You can check out the different layers. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's important to resolve. Oops. Hey, have you ever done product animation calver for clients? I've done like little product animation, you mean like, yeah, for products, right? Like a can or something like that. I've done it a little bit, not really professionally much. I've always done more like scenic stuff instead of product shots. Okay, let's drag that stuff in here. Oops, we actually don't need all of that stuff. Let me do that again. Just the render folder. Okay, now we got the two JPEGs here, JPEG, and the EXRs. Oh, the EXRs are actually playing back pretty fast in here too. Yeah, they're basically also real time. Nice. Okay, but yeah, as you notice, the EXRs, they look very blown out. They don't really have the right colors. And I did find a workflow that works best for me now, which is selecting both of the EXR files and then right-click LUT. And then I downloaded these LUTs from, was it CG Shrimp? They did like a whole tutorial on how to import Blender renders into Resolve. And their workflow mostly worked, but it wasn't perfect for me. So I adjusted it a little bit, I improved it a little bit. But yeah, basically this comes from them, this AGX Filmic view transform. And you want to select the linear rec to Arilog C. And then you have basically like a very flat looking image. So that's what you want. Let me actually look up the tutorial so I can send it to you guys, because there is a lot of good stuff in there. It doesn't feel complete to me, like it doesn't have everything that I needed, but I'll show you what I found, how I continue. CG shrimp. Was it CG shrimp? What was their name again? I forgot. Gleb. Yeah, Gleb Alexandrov, right? Did he do the tutorial? Lutz. Yeah, this one. Okay. So I'm gonna put this in the chat so you guys can watch it. There's a lot of good info in there. And then I basically, yeah, you can get the LUTs from here, I think. Was it from here? This is not it. JX LUTs. Oh, this is it. Yeah, LUTs AJX film view transform. So yeah, you want to get that. Right? This is it, right? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah, and then you basically just want to put that into your resolve install folder, and then you can, yeah, load them in through this LUT thing here. And then what I like to do is go into edit, put in my JPEG sequences. Here we go. So we have a kind of like proxy JPEGs. And then I'm going to go into one of these, open them up in Fusion. Let me reset my workspace here. Default. Yep. And then in the media pool, I'm going to import the EXR of that shot. Let's do. So this is 306 EXR, yeah. And I'm basically just replacing the media in. There we go. And then layer, we can select all the render layers we had. I'm going to use combined for now. Okay. Again, you can see we've got this very flat image. And now to get it back on to how it's supposed to be, I'm using a LUT in here now. File LUT. And then I am going to select one of those view transforms. But actually, to get them, I think we need to go into color to just like get the path here. Yeah, here we go. Open file location. Okay, I'm just going to copy this path here. Go back into Fusion and open the path right here. And then, yeah, we can select basically any of these above, RE2. The ones that I found looked best were the print ones, and Resolve sRGB is also good. Kraken is also interesting. So these are basically they all work, and they all have kind of like a little bit of their own flair. So you should just like, yeah, click through them, see which ones look best to you. Yeah, like this one that I selected just now was like film or something, right? Print. Yeah, print, it makes things look a little more cinematic immediately. So it's just a cool starting point, basically. Yeah, and gives you all the data. Yeah, and I do this workflow with kind of like these two LUTs, right? Like getting it into Resolve with the one LUT and then transforming it again in Fusion, because it's the fastest performance-wise that I found. I guess that's it. That's why, because it's like the easiest way, or like the most straightforward way, would be to just get the OpenEXR without applying a LUT, and then just get this OCIO color space, yeah, and select the Blender color space thing. I think I showed it to you in the past, but I'm not going to show it again because this node is actually very slow. Like if you use the OCIO color space node, it makes your render twice as long, which feels very nonsensical, right? Like why does only changing the colors take that much of your performance if this setup basically does it for free? So yeah, this is why I recommend doing what I just did. Okay, so we got this. And now something we want to do to use all these passes we rendered, all of these here, is to put them into the channels. Right, so go into the channel, and then for Z, I'm going to use my mist pass. For normals, we got to select normal X, normal Y, and normal Z, and then position, also the same thing, X, Y, and Z position. Yeah, that's all the layers we rendered, basically. The UV is also really interesting. It's kind of like gives you a mapping of all the surfaces to like add detail and stuff. I haven't rendered it now because I thought it wouldn't be so important for this shot. And it also seems like Eevee doesn't support it anyway, so I guess we can't use it anyways. Alright, cool. So now we got all this data in here. And something that we need to do, sadly, is because Fusion and Blender, their axes work differently, and you need to get a node that's called RS Flipper, I think. As RS Vector Flipper. Yeah, you just need to put it basically just behind your footage. Let's just do it directly behind it so we don't forget about it. So basically these two nodes should always be together with our footage because they are important to make the footage work correctly. So this RS Flipper basically flips the normal and the position data because they come in wrong for Fusion. To get that node, you gotta install where was it? Reactor. Yeah, Fusion Reactor. I'm gonna open a reactor here, and then you'll be able to activate it. Reactor is basically a. I'm also gonna send the link to that because it's also very useful. Resolve Reactor. It's basically like a community-driven, yeah, plugin database that you can easily install plugins from inside of Fusion. So here you go. Download the installer and everything. Yeah, I'm gonna put this here in the chat so you guys can get it. It's very, very useful. Ken says, never understood Fusion. Is it like Nuke or After Effects? Yeah, it's pretty much Nuke. It's basically the same, almost. Oh, you also said earlier the animation turned out great. Was it the student membership work? Hell yeah, it was. Yeah, Zach is actually the only person who's paying for a student membership right now, and I think it shows that it works because when you like all the other people that have student memberships on my server right now, they all have a trial membership, right? And I think when you invest a little bit of money, and I think 30 euros is also not that much per month, you actually have a lot of commitments to like use that time that you basically buy with that, right? So yeah, Zach was able to improve a lot in that short time. So yeah, I would recommend it to everyone, and he would also recommend it. I've seen him posting about it on X and Twitter. So yeah, I'm very happy that he's enjoying his experience. Okay, so on Reactor, we can install that RS Flipper node. Let's flip. Yeah, it's this Redshift utilities basically, yeah, right? It comes with RS Vector Flipper. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so Redshift utilities you want to install, and then you get that flipper. Alright, cool. We got the RS Flipper, and now I'm going to show you the different things we can do with the render passes. For example, just as an example, I want to change how this building looks in the background. I can add a volume mask, and this volume mask basically lets me, yeah, create a mask around anything I want. So I can just drag and drop on transformation, and I can drop it there. You see that it's only 1 pixel right now, but that's because it's very far away. So if we increase this size here, you can see our mask growing like that, and yeah, we basically have a 3-dimensional mask. It's pretty sick. It's pretty cool. Let's make it a bit bigger. 5 now. Okay. It's too big. Oh shit. It's too big. Let's do 2000. That I can also Select that one. Scale, we can also unlock the axis, so we can make it bigger in this direction to also have the other building. Alright, cool. Yeah, now we basically have, yeah, a three-dimensional mask that sticks in place. So this is, yeah, very sick, very cool. And we can use this mask if we go to color and mask only. Then we basically have alpha mask of, yeah, our selection, and we can use this alpha mask to control anything, right? So for example, I want to just have a curve effect, just make those buildings darker. So color curves, I'll put this in here, and then I'm going to use this as a mask. And then when I change this, it changes the. Wait, oh, I gotta do the pre-divide, I think. Wait, what's the problem here? Why doesn't this mask work? So it's only the buildings. It's affecting everything. Wait, do I need to apply a mask? No. Oh, because it doesn't have it. I don't have it in the mask input. Okay, now. Okay, the blue one is the mask input. So now it should work. Yeah, there we go. Okay, this one is actually not necessary. Okay, yeah, but now we can change the brightness of our buildings, yeah. Yeah, we can do that with anything in the scene. Now let me actually move this down a little bit. Position. Yeah. So huge. Yeah, a bit of the ground there too. Yeah, like this, I guess. Yeah, that's what the position mask is for. So you can, yeah, edit anything in the scene that needs a little bit of extra treatment. And that could be any node, right? Like you can mask out anything that you're doing with that. Let me show you the other things we can do. For example, we can do relighting with our normal map. So if I just disable this for now, if I get in a relight, yeah, like a relight node, and we want to use input 2. Okay, so we basically want to feed, for the relight node, we want to feed in our own normal information. And for that, we need to get that normal information out of this node here again. For that, we gotta need a channel boolean. Put this into the channel boolean. And then we want to copy, was it from red? I think so. From red, and we want to copy the XYZ normals. So R, Y, Y, Z. There we go. Now we have our XYZ normals instead of our color. And we can then feed that into the foreground setting for the relight. And then it should work. Let's see. Yeah, it works. It looks a bit strange right now, but we can basically add some extra lights to the objects. This character doesn't work that well because it's half transparent, and transparency has like a little bit of a problem with transparency basically doesn't work so well for this, but we can try it out with this guy while he's not transparent. Let me actually use another volume mask for that. Mask. Oh, I think we can actually do that here. So if we mix these back together. Now we're basically adding our relight, right? Mm. This scene looks a little confusing to me with the relight. I'm not super sure what's happening. And we can, yeah, there's some like new lighting on the rooftop there. But yeah, usually you wanna not have your relight everywhere because it can mess with the light you already have. It's kind of working here. Okay, it's doing so much. It's lighting everything up. Yeah. I mean, I usually like to use this to add a little bit of more contrast to my characters, like a little bit of a outline or something like that, you know? Shadow softness. Yeah, you can pretty much dial these settings in here however you need it. There's like a few nice reflections here. Yeah, and then again, with the volume mask, we can make sure that only the character is being selected. Let's pick the character here, increase the size. Nice, okay, so now we got him selected pretty well. Yeah, then we can use this again as a mask for the relight. That work? Not yet, maybe here. Oh, exactly, we need to enable in color only mask. Then we actually have a mask. Okay, nice. Yeah, now you can basically see that when we change the position of the light, that the character in the final render gets some extra additional lighting. Yeah, that's what I like to do this with, or to do with this. Yeah, you can just basically art direct it more. I think this is the kind of like similar to the approach that people from Arcane used to like light their characters and their scenes in composition, in compositing. Keanu, oh yeah, you can relight in Fusion. It's pretty cool. What does this do? Oh wait, this actually... Oh, this actually helps rescale oversaturated, yeah. Yeah, this makes it a bit more subtle. I guess you can always just adjust it anyways yourself. Yeah, okay, so yeah, now we basically have this relight only on the character. Right, so yeah, if I disable this, it doesn't really add that much of interest. Maybe more if we... Ooh, yeah, I think it's like a little bit broken because the character's transparent, and Fusion can't really work that well with transparency on characters. I think it's also an Eevee thing, because I feel like this Cycles render worked a little bit better with these render passes. But I think you can still definitely add some interesting detail with this technique here. Maybe also if we blur the result a little bit. We merge with screen, that should feel a bit more natural. Actually, let me put that in here, so it's on the character. Oh, I don't want the background. Can I? Maybe I actually should remove the background before it goes into the relight. Maybe that makes it a bit cleaner. Let's see. So I remove the background before it goes into the with mask. Yes, and then we also don't need to put it in here. Yeah, that should make the whole process a bit cleaner. Oh, it looks like it doesn't really do anything. What? Why does it look like it doesn't do anything? Okay, it does something now. Maybe I should use this map here. Maybe that's easier to actually get effects with. Okay, so instead of merge should be a screen then. And then I've got my relighting, right? Yeah, then I've got my additional light. Yeah, okay, this kind of works. Okay. But yeah, there's endless possibilities what you can do with this. You can do all kinds of things. Yeah, so we added a little bit of a light from the top here, which I think helps to give that character more depth. Yeah, definitely. Nice. Zach, render has this. V1. Okay, so I showed you the normal and position data. Let's see, we still have the Z and emission. Yeah, emission is actually not part of this channel here because it's its own thing. For emission, I want to just copy paste these two here. This in here. And then in this node, I want to select the emission pass. Here we go, emit. And then we can just put that emit back on top with glows or whatever we need. So I'm just gonna put it in here. Make this merge a screen. And then we can add our glows. I'm actually gonna use the cover glow, why not? Oh. Nice, strong shot glow here. I created this glow so you're able to really shape how it looks a lot. So I felt like all the other, like the standard glows, they don't really have that much control over the glow look itself. So that's why I created my own glow effect. Like a really nice roll off too. Okay, yeah, that looks like a nice glow. It's a hue shift, which is pretty interesting, but I'm not gonna use it for this. And then I'm gonna add another glow at the end here. And make that like nice stripes. This, yeah. But with a very high threshold. Oops. Short ones should be better, so it doesn't take away too much attention. Okay, here we go. Added some cool glow effects. Oh wow, we actually get some... Wait, is this from the glow effect? Oh yeah. That's actually pretty cool to have these outlines. Wow, that actually adds a lot to the look, I think. It's like, if you see this, make sure to do this. Is it because of the emission layer not having depth of field? It looks in general to me like all the passes in Eevee don't have depth of field or motion blur. Yeah, they don't have depth of field or motion blur. That makes it a bit problematic to work, but it also gives you cool effects like this. So I guess, yeah, just use it to make something cool. Use your limitations. Yeah, honestly, this is super cool to like have. It looks like 2D drawn, like a 2D drawing. I'm a huge fan. I might copy this. Got him in the back here jumping. Yeah, looks pretty intense. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, this emission sketch style looks very cool. Okay, nice, we got that. What else was there? Oh yeah, the depth information. So we could use that to like make this whole scene feel a bit more moodier, like giving it, yeah, depth fog basically, right? So I'm gonna do same. How should I do this? Wait, was there like a fog? Fog. Does this work? Let's see. We should probably add the fog after the relight, maybe like in here. Let's see if this actually works. Not sure if this actually works. Fog. 3D. No, this doesn't work. Fog volume. What's the difference? Because this just looks like the volume mask, but with other names. Okay, this is a bit weird to me. I'm just going to use the fog, the mist pass, how it is. Again, with the channel booleans, I'm going to like get the depth information directly from here. So I'm going to copy the mist. Where is it? Oh no, it was Z, right? Z depth. Depth. Where is it? Z buffer? The buffer. Z buffer. Oh yeah, okay, Z buffer is what we need. Okay, cool. Let me see if that actually makes any difference. No, it doesn't make any difference. Okay, I feel like I put the Z depth not high enough because it's not that far actually. I thought 500 meters would be enough, but it doesn't look like it's enough. Let's see if we can fix that with the channels here. No, there's no information back there. Shit. Okay. So, Zach, when you render, make sure that you put your depth to a very high value, like 5,000 should be better. Let me actually see if we were able to see that already here in the mist. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that we don't have enough information. Damn. Okay, let's do another test render, see if 5,000 is enough. Yeah, with 5,000 we at least see the buildings in the background still. Oh, it can get even higher because we don't see the buildings here. That's good. Let's go with 10,000 then. Okay, so this is something you should test out before you do the final render to see what kind of value you need for the depth. Okay, yeah, now we've got all the buildings. Okay, I wish I had this. I wish I had 10,000 because I wanted to add some cool depth. Let's actually just render... Actually, we can just continue rendering. Oh, wait. I want to continue rendering from where we left off in the other shot. So like here, I'm just gonna paste this in here, and if we render it, it should continue where we left off. There we go. Okay, that should be enough for now to just test it out. And then what should we do? What do we need to do to reload the sequence? Probably need to go into the media pool and re-import it maybe? Let's see what happens. Yeah, this has all the frames now. Is it? Ah, but it's different. It's a new sequence because, yeah, it's because it's got a different end frame. Okay, so let's just add our LUT here again. This one. Okay, and then let's just drop that in here. Actually, let's just put it on top. And then what we can actually do in Fusion, we can open up the clips editor here, the clips window, and then just do middle click. Oh, wait. Shit. It's not frozen. Yeah, it's very useful. Actually, we wanted to use the JPEG sequence. Yeah, so the JPEG sequence, and then we can just, in Fusion, middle click on the one that already has the effects, and then it will copy that over to our new sequence here. So there we go. I think something, yeah, we need to still put our real render in there. Oh, some long. So that would be 420 XR, yes. Replace this. All right, and then select our combined layer again. I think we need to reconnect. Oh yeah, we need to reconnect the channels, sadly. Mist Z, normal X, normal Y, normal Z, position, position X, Y, and Z. Alright, yeah, now it should work again. Now we updated the shot. Okay, and we should also have the correct depth information now. Let's see. Yeah, now we've got a lot of depth information. Okay, we don't need this one. Okay. And yeah, I want to use this to like add some atmosphere to the background. And do that by putting it in, I guess, just here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use the curves for that. So here I'm putting that in here, and then I use this as a mask. And here in the curves, I want to make sure that I'm using not alpha, but luminance, because we're going from black to white, not alpha. Okay, that should be fine. So if we change the colors now, yeah, we're basically changing the brightness of the background. Yeah, that's good. We can kind of like give the whole background like a fall off into darkness. And also sometimes which is pretty cool is to like give the background fall off into a different color. So we could, for example, maybe we can make it blue. So I'm just gonna keep blue enabled. And then I'm gonna actually get blue higher again. And then we get like a nice, like a cool looking blue mist in the distance. I think that's pretty interesting. I think that adds an interesting element. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning it doesn't work so good because the depth pass we have isn't so far, but it still looks kind of interesting. Like, it still definitely adds an interesting element to the look. And then we have the correct depth pass here, I think. Yeah. Oh, it's again not picking up the characters correctly. Yeah, because of the transparency. That's a bit annoying. I think that's actually where the difference between the Z pass and the mist pass comes in. Let's quickly do a check on that. Z, okay, so I've got Z enabled. Yeah, okay, so if I render this. Kiana says, if you had to learn compositing all over again, would you pick Nuke or Resolve? I think it's always a question on what you want to focus on. If you want to focus on really just doing purely compositing, I think Nuke is gonna give you an easier life. But if you're someone like me who wants to do everything, like editing and compositing, and a lot of experimentation in between that stuff, then Resolve and Fusion is more useful, because you have way more tools to experiment and create new ideas. Depth and mist. Okay, so depth is very much just white right now. I thought usually you would be able to see something. Maybe it's just that we need to adjust the strength of it. Let me see, combined depth in here. Oh, I need to use the compositor, right? Let's do that again. Okay, depth, and then I'm going to use RGB curves to lower it. Does that do the trick? Yeah, now we slowly get that information. Yeah, there we go. Because, yeah, the Z depth basically has like almost infinite information. That's why it's mostly white. So now we slowly start to see it. But yeah, still the transparency doesn't work properly. So choosing between depth and mist. Mist definitely gives you the cleaner, like a cleaner pass that's more useful in my opinion. Like depth, oh shit. The depth pass is like used in the traditional compositing world where you did everything in post-production, like motion blur and lens blur and stuff like that. But Mist already has that stuff built in, the motion blur and the depth of field. So nowadays, with more things being directly baked into the render, I think Mist makes more sense to use. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we did the right choice. We used Mist instead of depth. So I'm going to disable it again here. Okay, so I guess we can just like look at our sequence here in one go. Maybe let me animate this because this is actually not so useful before this shot here. Yeah, because everything is blue. So let's just have it come in after this moment. So let's animate this blend here. Boop, and like have it come in over this time. Yeah, let's see how it looks in playback. I also gotta enable, wait, what? Gotta enable the smart caching. Here we go, and then it should start to render this shot. Bist du fertig, Erik? Nice. Ja, ich auch gleich. Is it starting already? I don't see it getting blue. Hello, Fusion. Resolve. Oh, now it's getting blue, okay. Cool, I'll fusion a shot. Nice. Fusion that shot. Actually, I always also never tried this to just like play it back until it's all blue, even if it's laggy in between. I wonder what's faster, to just like leave Resolve alone so it can render it in the background, or to just, yeah, force to render the frames by playing it. Let's see if this actually works. Thoughts on Blender's native compositor? I actually like Blender's compositor a lot. It just doesn't have that many features, you know? Like, it's pretty limited on... Oh, maybe it's not limited, but it's like it's very manual. Like, you have to create most of the effects that you want completely manual from scratch. And a lot of other compositors already have a lot of nodes and effects built for you, so you don't have to do everything from scratch. But that's kind of like Blender in general, right? Like Blender is very manual. It's like very lightweight and small, but therefore you need to almost create everything from scratch yourself, which is a good and a bad thing. Okay, almost done here. There we go. All right, Zach. Yeah, I think this looks pretty cool, Zach. What do you think, Eric? This animation Zach worked on for like around 3 weeks. I helped him like here and there. It's for like an esports clan he's managing, I think.
Yeah.
And he wants to create a cool 3D animated video for them.
It's cool.
Yeah, right?
Mm.
Alright, Zach, yeah, you got Eric's approval and he made some cool shit.
You did it again!
I was about to say something there, but we're gonna stay PG-13 here. Yeah, man, this is shaping up to be a really cool video. yeah, I hope this helped you to understand kind of like the render passes that you could use. I think those are all the passes you really need to create your effects. Maybe the other thing, actually what I should have shown you, because I know you're gonna add 2D effects. Oh no, but that should be totally doable. Yeah, you can use the volume mask that I showed in the compositing to cut out, or to separate objects and then put like an effect behind them, right? So yeah, I think you're totally able to do what you've planned to do with this setup now. Okay. Yeah, I'll render. Actually, do I need to render this? Yeah, I'll render this and send you all the project files back so you can take it from there. Let me see if anyone else submitted anything to the student channel here. No new submissions. All right. Okay, that maybe is a good moment for me. Is there anything new? No, nothing new. Okay, so that maybe is a good moment for me to remind you guys to get a student membership. If you go to culverschool.com, I'll share this with you. I actually updated the website recently, and I'm very happy how it looks. Here in student, you can become a patron for $30 a month. Copy link address. Let me put that in here too. Wait, what happens if I click on it? Because I own the Patreon, so I probably don't see the same thing. Oh no, I do see the same thing. Yeah. So if you don't have a student membership yet and you want to also learn, like Zach, how to create cool animations, then yeah, try out the 7-day trial. It's for free, so you can see if it works for you. And it's also limited to 50 people, and Zach is the only person right now who's using it. So yeah, get it while they are available. Alright, everyone. Yeah, and with that, I would start our goodbye ritual. Eric, you want to be part of it again?
Sure.
Alright. Okay, here we go. Everyone, have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Oh shit. Oh shit. Wait, I want to do the twist thing.
Twisting.
Wait, what happened to my face? Alright, bye.